going to Solar Beach Colony?
Yes.
Is that a view or what?
Wow.
That's amazing.
Oh, you're gonna make a wonderful mother. I can see it in your eyes.
We want children so much.
Of course you do. A child completes it.
Cthulhu. Cthulhu.
Creatures of the sea.
See the light?
What is that?
Open the door. Don't be afraid.
Listen, I've heard about some of these cults. They're into all this Necronomicon. They're not gonna hurt you.
They'll hurt you.
We are the esoteric order of Dagon. See the glorious light within us all.
And then there were two. Hi, Kelly.
Hey.
So we have Kelly and Chad, but we have nobody else yet. So shall we crack on and we'll just watch for anybody else who may pop up? So
Sure,
I've just finished watching your film. It's only, I looked down the list of Lovecraft, it's only the third Lovecraft project I've ever seen.
Oh,
So Reanimator and From Beyond many years ago, and I've seen one of the Reanimator sequels, so technically yours is the fourth. But Lovecraft's, he's a strange guy. he's an odd one. I don't think I would watch a Lovecraft film if I was suffering from like a fever dream or something, because I think I would end up with some definite nightmares watching some of Lovecraft's material.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm loving the background. You've got a big wave behind you. Don't mean to alarm you. You've got a big wave coming to get you.
I'm having fun with backgrounds today, and I just realized I had an ocean behind me, and the deep one. So, duh.
That fits perfect. I've just got movie posters and a wardrobe behind me. So, and Chad, you've got a light fitting. So that's.
I've got a clock.
You've got a clock, and what have you got? Was that a sorcerer poster?
I've got Attack, The Naked Prey, and Sorcerer.
I love Sorcerer. I only watched that last year for the first time because when I saw that Friedkin had brought it out in the 70s, I'm like, not really into witchcraft movies. And it was only recently, it's like the title just threw me. It's like, oh no, it's about a truck that gets hijacked. So, well, not hijacked, but full of nitroglycerin and drives up a mountain. So great. Let's talk virtual film fests. Let's talk how wonderfully somebody else is joining now. So there, who's joining now? Somebody's just sent me a little. Let's. Will it let me? I hope I don't cut you guys off at all. Let's have a look.
I think Zoom might be better.
I think Zoom I am a fan of, but
It doesn't matter how often we have to do these. Everything always messes up.
It does. It's technology is just amazing, isn't it?
Oh, there you go.
It's gonna screw up. Like my ocean.
The ocean looks amazing. I'm trying to make the big screen go
I can have
again.
a bunch of them. I can just go for days.
Where's the? I can't make the pitch. I can't make the picture go.
Get it?
This is crazy. I do.
And I think they're looking at it like, what is she doing now? Having fun with background.
I go, oh, there's more people. So I click away, and I got like a screen full of people. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I have hello from near Manchester. in the UK, so the home of grey clouds. I don't have as wonderful an ocean as Kelly does behind her. So we're here to talk the deep ones, which, as I was saying to Chad and Kelly, it's only my fourth, it turns out. Somebody's gone. Oh, back again. It's only my fourth Lovecraft project that I've ever seen. So I'm still in that phase of Lovecraft is strange. I don't know if I understand the whole mythology, but it's really unnerving in a wonderful way.
You're not alone.
No, he's strange. You've done an amazing job, Chad, of updating it as well, because Lovecraft passed away in 1937, way before Airbnb.
That's true.
Airbnb wasn't even a thing, and I don't even think I'm ever going to sign up for an Airbnb again. I think you've put me off. You've put me off. I'm going to delete my Airbnb app. So how did you come to be involved in this project, Chad? Let you sail the ship, and then we'll bring everybody else in.
Well, it started out with Robert introducing me to Gina on another project. I basically had a script that was, I guess you'd call it kind of a female death wish. And she really liked the script and wanted to get it made. She tried to raise the money, wasn't having any luck. And then she basically out of the blue said, "Hey, I've got this beach house in Ventura. Do you want to shoot a little slasher film there for a couple bucks? And we just go out and make something." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. If we can pull some money together and you've got the location, I'll send me some pictures of the location and I'll start writing a script." So I really had no interest in doing a slasher film, but I always wanted to do a cult film. And so I basically, the ocean and for whatever reason, I'm like, Lovecraft, that's what the cult can, be worshiping. So I, reintroduced myself to Lovecraft's work, mainly In the Shadow of Innsmouth, Dagon, and Call of Cthulhu, Dunwich Horror. I kind of reread all those and got into the mood of it, and with the location and Robert and Sylvia and Kelly in mind for certain roles, I started with the script and it kind of wrote itself. And it was actually the script took about 2 weeks to write, and everyone seemed to really like it. And there were, it floated around. There were a couple other investors that really wanted to get some more money to make it, up in, like a big budget. And it finally came to the time of like, I can't wait for them to do it. We've got this location. Let's just make it for X amount that we have on the table and just go do it. And that's what we did. And it was a lot of fun to make.
It looks like it was a lot of fun to make. It really does. So you were familiar with Lovecraft way before with the list of books you've just reread. Right. I do need to read one. I think I've seen like some films based on Lovecraft material over the years, but I've never quite braved reading one. So for somebody who's never read one before, which one would you recommend is a good place to start?
Shadow over Innsmouth or Call of Cthulhu is pretty good. That'll give you a good introduction to it.
Yeah.
It felt very, watching the film, and bearing in mind I'm not that familiar with a lot of the Lovecraft stuff, I can see that the writers of Rosemary's Baby probably were very familiar with Lovecraft. Even to a certain extent, there's a lot of Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut, which I can then look at and go, I wonder if they've all got Lovecraft books on their shelves. I suspect they probably do, because it is a very, very unique mythology, if that's the correct word. It's a very unique world.
Yeah. No, I think, almost everything you see once you start reading Lovecraft is like everyone from Hitchcock to whoever there's little bits of things in certain, elements of all their works, the Twilight Zone. I mean, little things, the Hammer House of Horrors was a great show that I think it's called something, The Abyss was an episode that I saw recently that kind of sparked the whole hypnosis theme that I put in to the script of the whole mind control thing. So whether they pulled their idea from Lovecraft, who knows, but I definitely pulled from theirs, which they might have gotten from Lovecraft. It's an endless cycle of where things were born and whatnot. So I think Lovecraft has inspired pretty much almost everything, horror, sci-fi, elements all throughout. So it's hard to pinpoint where someone might have gotten their ideas. I definitely, not only Lovecraft, but things I have seen growing up, like you said, Eyes Wide Shut. Of course, the mask she's wearing and the fire dance is an inspiration from, numerous things that I've seen that really got me excited. So when you add those elements to it, or the monster in the Deep Ones was Chud was a huge influence on me as a kid. Just those glowing eyes, and that was something we definitely had to implement in our monsters. So.
I was a little bit concerned. I thought if I come on and Robert say with a cigarette lighter and a shiny, I'm off. I'm headed out the door. It'll be the shortest conversation ever, because it was straight from the beginning. You know that something creepy is going to happen because it's got Lovecraft's name on the title. So you're like, okay, still don't know what to expect, because Lovecraft is strangely all over the place with the creepiness and the weirdness and stuff. Airbnb's done. I'm never going near a cigarette lighter again. I'm probably not even going to speak to a nice couple that try and make friends and go, would you want to come on the boat? I'm done. I'm all right. I'm good. Thanks. I'm off.
I'm so glad it scarred you.
It's unnerving. I think if there was one word to describe the film other than great, it would be unnerving. I suspect, and I only finished it about an hour ago, because I always like to watch them in close proximity. Sure. I suspect that when I'm doing my night shift in a couple of hours right through, things will start creeping into my mind about, what was that? That sort of thing. So it's and I love a film with it. I love it.
Mission accomplished.
So let's talk about everybody else's involvement in it. Obviously, you said you had roles in mind for Kelli, and Robert introduced you and whatnot. What's everybody else's story with becoming involved in the Deep Ones, and what's your favorite experience from making the film? So Kelli, we'll start with you.
Well, I'd already worked with these lovely people before, so I knew that I wanted to do it. And then I read the script, and I just had to do it, even though I read it and I thought, wow, they need $1 million to make this. But I just had faith. I guess I wasn't even conscious. I just went, I want to do this really a lot. And I remember at the time thinking, this is some of the best material I've ever had. It's so different. So that was, and there was something about being on the set. It was so charmed. And I want to knock wood when I say that now, even though we've already shot it. But it was just, everything just seemed to flow into place. And I think everybody had a good time. There was a real sense of synchronicity and community going on. And I can see it when I watch the film. So I had a wonderful time, and I got to do something very fun.
And also, I mean, you start watching the film, and before you realize everything that's going on, your character comes off as the crazy one.
Yes.
But as the film goes on, you're not the crazy one. Everybody else is the crazy one. So there's a wonderful little flip there.
Yeah.
So,
and
run away from everybody.
Sometimes I would think to myself, I'm the only one here without a sea monster in me. So that would justify what I was freaking out.
And that is a good phrase to use. I'm the only one without a sea monster. That's a good phrase. That should be T-shirted, I think.
Exactly. I think I will, Alex. That's a good one.
I'd do it. Wear a T-shirt. So, Robert?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a sea monster in all of us, to tell you the truth. I think that's what we.
Oh.
Yeah. Stuart, I'm in your camp, man. When I read Lovecraft, he was like all over the place, and it's intriguing the detail and the mythology that he was able to, with his imagination, put down on paper, which inspired, like Chad, so many different artists and filmmakers. He must have been using some good psychedelic.
That's what I was thinking.
To write, because that's where I think it came from. So the whole lore and the whole mythology is so, imaginative and inspiring. Especially today in our own world, where do we come from? What's our origin? And I think that he captures some of that in his work. The old ones, the deep ones. Who were they? Our ancestors? Were they aliens? Were they from Nibiru and the 12th planet? So it really. I think it's, like I said before, it's kind of timeless in a way. So it was working on on the film. I had a chance to work with Chad a few times, and he's so imaginative and so easy to work with. He's so open to your input. So it was really delightful just getting on set with him and from beginning to end and watch this thing morph into this film that I think people are going to enjoy watching.
It's a wonderful cinematic nightmare, and I mean nightmare in a good way. Not one of those nightmares where you go, Jesus, that was a nightmare. It's a wonderful, it's a psychedelic, freaky experience journey anyway.
Right.
Yeah, very good. And especially when you look at when Lovecraft was around.
Right.
Chad, you've updated it with the Airbnbs and all the technology and stuff that we've got now. But I think a lot of people their mind would be blown if this was like late 1800s, early 1900s. They'd be like, what? It would freak them out a little bit.
Yeah, I would hope.
And so, last but not least, I'm pointing at my screen. I was like, geez, I'm so used to talking to people. How did you? There you go. How did you become involved in this wonderful world of Lovecraft?
I worked with Chad. I thought it was more than 10 years ago, but maybe it was like 10 years ago. And we've done a few films together, so I love working with him. I know what it's going to be like, more or less, and how easygoing he is, and how I don't know, the whole energy on set is great. And then I worked with him before, and I worked with Kelli, so I knew this was definitely a set I'd love to be on. What was the other question? What was the question?
Just how you became involved.
Oh, how I became
in the
involved
film.
in it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that was very new was the special effects. I thought that was so cool that we did the special effects right there and then. And I was one of the actresses that had a few of them planted on my body or my face, like the glowing eyes. And to me, that was fascinating. It was also one of the weirdest moments to be kind of blinded for 2 hours and not being able to see, and kind of having to act that way, and trusting the other people on set to kind of guide me through the place and just go with it. So that was a really cool experience. I mean, the special effects, I thought that was a really special and unique thing, doing them on set and not in CGI.
And it's also good that you've worked with these people before, so obviously you've already got the trust. You're in safe hands. So I can't see anything, but I know that nobody's going to throw me up. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Just watch the cigarette lighters. Yeah. And then, somebody else is off there filming. You never know. I might be. I'm still watching for cigarette lighters, though. I'm still first sign of those, and I'm off. So what's been the reception like for people who have watched the film? Hopefully very, very good, because it is a very, very good film. But I would think that Lovecraft is a certain type of taste. So maybe there are people who go, oh, I don't like Lovecraft. Or people who will dive straight into it because they love him.
Well, so far it's been, just a few. The festivals have loved it, the ones that have contacted me and, accepted it. And, Grimfest is one of the first ones, followed by Sitges and Hardline in Germany. I mean, so it's kind of building a thing, and hopefully the audience will like it as much as the programmers, and word will spread, reviews will be positive, and it builds and builds and builds and builds. Or they'll hate it, and and we'll cry in our tears.
Cry.
The important thing to remember is, if anybody hates it, they're wrong. That's it. Everybody makes mistakes. So if anybody goes, I don't like it, just go, okay, go away, watch it again. You didn't watch it right. Come back, because I wasn't too familiar with Lovecraft before this, other than a few films. I will venture into some more films. So at some point, you give me some recommendations, then I will. I'll take the challenge and venture a little bit deeper into the crazy world of Lovecraft.
Well, I think that's what's great, and that's what's the best thing to get from it, is someone who sees it, and whether they love it or hate it or whatever, that at least they can say, hey, I want to learn more about Lovecraft, or read more of his stuff, or see more of his movies, and it kind of opens a door that wasn't open before. So it's exciting to be able to do that, because when I discover something new, like whether it be a film noir or a book or whatever it is, it's like, wow, how could I have missed this? And it's a great path to go down, and hopefully this will open a door for some people who are not that aware of Lovecraft's work.
Open one for me.
Got one.
Hopefully it's not a door to hell or something like that I can never get back out of, but it's opened one for me. So I mean, I started off just being a film fan all my life, and then progressed into doing audio podcasts, and then progressed into doing some Q&A panels for some festivals, and then becoming press at places like Grimfest and Fright Fest, and now I'm doing these. So I spend all my time, as Kelly knows, living on Twitter, retweeting things, liking things, commenting on things, and so I'll be doing that about your films and any other films you're involved in as well, because I'm just 100% movie geek. So I love seeing.
Awesome on Twitter.
I do spend a lot of time on Twitter.
Awesome.
But I love it. It's to go back to like the young me way back when, to say you would be able to speak to filmmakers. No, that never happened.
Right.
But now I can reach out to Kelly and go, hey, love your movies. And I can reach out to you two as well and go, hey, love your movies, and so on. It's amazing for me. So I may watch films that I don't like, but I never talk about the films that I don't like, because there's so many that I do like.
Oh, that's great.
So
Thank you, Stuart.
and I will never say I like a film if I didn't. I just generally don't talk about it, because then if I say, oh, I really like your film, you go, yeah, but did you? Did you know? Or you just doing that live
really?
thing? No, I would never say I liked a film if I didn't like it. But yours was wonderful, strange, unnerving, creepy, wonderfully produced, directed, edited, and a fantastic cast.
Wow.
I didn't like the cigarette. I didn't like the cigarette lighter, though. I'm still.
Damn you.
I'm not a fan of the cigarette lighter, and I am going to delete my Airbnb, my Airbnb app. So, what is you mentioned that the film's going into festivals. What is the distribution plan? Is there one in place yet for the film, where people who aren't as fortunate enough as me to be able to talk to you can potentially see the film?
It's out to a few distributors now, and it's one of those things. For me, it's always best. I've had the best experience with festivals where it builds and builds and builds, and then people are like, what is that? I want to see it. So a distributor actually, they take a look at it, and it's like, well, here's 50 positive reviews, or it played all these festivals, and they're like, okay, it's got some provenance behind it. So to me, I think that's the best way to build something. And also with Twitter followers and Facebook, and you build that up to the point where the distributor's like, oh my God, the trailer's been viewed 1 million times. There must be something there that we might not necessarily see just watching the movie, off the cuff. But if they look at all the stuff behind the film, then I think that raises the awareness. So it goes back to the audience and a word of mouth, and helping build something that a film will get better distribution than it normally would without, festivals again are the greatest thing, because it helps build that. It helps you find your audience, and hopefully, it goes viral in a sense. Yeah. And I think that's why festivals are so important. And I'm very thankful to Grimfest and the other festivals that are going to be playing it. That this time right now is probably the best time, because it's the unknown of, will it get a big distributor? Will it get a small? There's still hope that something clicks with the audience and it finds the home that it deserves from a distributor that gets it and loves it and really wants to put it in drive-ins, or get something going and build something, instead of just throwing it out on Amazon and saying, okay, done, and no one gets to find it because no one's heard about it. But with festivals, it builds and it builds, and people like you that champion it on Twitter and Facebook and things like that, it finds an audience. And because there's no money to put out trailers on television and all this stuff, it's really word of mouth and fans that make a film grow and grow and grow.
Certainly with virtual virtual festivals. I mean, I would love to have sat down with the four of you at a festival, had pretty much the same conversation that we're having now without the technology part. And I probably would have filmed it anyway, so my end game would have been the same. But this will go online. It'll go out on my podcast channels. It'll go out on my YouTube channel. Grimfest are already very excited. So I've shot 5 of these in the past couple of days with various filmmakers who I weren't fully familiar with beforehand. Grimfest are loving the coverage that people are doing. So the press that you're doing, it is starting to come back to Grimfest. And I know from experience that Grimfest are fantastic at sharing stuff out and building that wonderful. I've convinced them to adopt me. Actually, you know, I tweeted them like, and they went fine. I'm like, that's legally binding, so I've screen grabbed it. So I'm now part of Team Grimfest because they're a really good bunch.
I started putting it on Twitter and Instagram, and to my surprise, they answered me back. They made a thing of me with the still that's out of me, and I was so impressed and complimented, and I'd never seen, you know, I didn't expect that at all. So I was really surprised, pleasantly surprised. So they're really cool. They're very personal.
They are, because I've covered their event for the past 4 years, but this being one of them, so we could sort of, I've not met any of the team this year because nobody's left their house ever. But the previous 2 years, they would introduce themselves to me again, and it was as if I'd known them for years, and they remembered who I was. And since normally when I tell them what my Twitter handle is, they go, "Oh yeah, you're the one that's keeping Twitter going." So you're right, Kelly. They will respond to anybody. They're very personal. They're all movie geeks themselves. Even the volunteers they get to help out at the events, they will all champion films because they love them, as well they should.
That's great.
Yeah, no, they're great.
So have you got a lot of press? Have you got more to do after this, or is this?
I think there's 2 more, 3 more, something like that.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
No, it's been a lot of fun. I had to get up at 5 a.m. and do one at 6 a.m. here, and you dread waking up that early, but at the same time, it's like, how often do you do this? You know, it's like so. And it was a lot of fun, and yours has been fun. I mean, you're great. So it's finding people that once you get used to it and you're in the role of it, it's like, okay, this is really fun. I was afraid or dreaded it or waking up early, but now it's getting warmed up, and it's a lot of fun. And I really appreciate, you know, what Grimfest and you are doing to pull this together and make it happen, because that's really a level that not all festivals do, and I think it's a great tool to make people get to meet the filmmaker and get to see what they're about and hear about what happened on set. And you know, it's a great way to do it. So in a sense, this virtual thing ain't so bad.
No, it's not. I think 2020's had a lot of bad things, but the virtual film festival and the fact, it's saving on plane tickets for everybody, isn't it? The amount of airfares it's saving is unbelievable. So we can put that in the good pile, and also time. You know, you can do it from your own. You can do it from your own ocean, as Kelly's doing her conversations. You don't even have to go in the house. You could just,
still on set.
you can still be on set and still talk about films. So I would like to thank you all for taking the time out. You will see. You're welcome. I'm a fan of everybody's work. So I've been geeking out this week. It's wonderfully insane for
You're
me.
a guy that I'd like to hang out with.
Yeah.
Deal. That's my second adoption.
Yes,
Definitely.
It's true. Just from watching the stuff that you post, I feel like I know you already.
Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna climb in the webcam and just my night job can go away, but I will look at the. Oh yeah, hang on a minute. I've been told to look into the light here. Right, okay. You nearly got me. But anything you need from me, you've got my email. So not necessarily just from this project, but if you want anything else firing out into the world through all my little channels, I am literally only a tweet away, as Kelly knows.
I'm coming out to
that. That's great.
Brilliant. The weather's quite nice.
That's one thing.
Yeah,
we didn't get, I'm kind of sad that we didn't get to go all these, to the places. I mean, I've never been to the UK. I would have loved that. So I try not to think about that part because I would have loved it. But
next time, there will be a next time. I know Grimfest are. There will be 2 sequels, with a different cigarette lighter. And I mean, that's the thing with Lovecraft. There's a lot of. He's got a pretty impressive IMDb list for somebody who passed away in 1937.
Yeah.
Right. The possibilities are endless.
List. Yeah.
Fine.
But no, Kelly, come to the UK at some point. All of you come to the UK at some point. and we'll all hang out together, and we'll just chat movies and TV shows, and Robert, your career could fill hours and hours and hours of questions for you on your wonderful career. I was geeking out looking at your filmography the other day, and I'm like, where do I? Oh yeah, no, I've got to talk Lovecraft. No, okay, let's another time. We will sit down and have a long chat. I'm a fan, definitely. Okay, well, I shall let you guys go, but enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Thank you for making the film.
Thank you for joining.
Appreciate it. It will give me nightmares tonight, but those are good nightmares. Okay, but take care. And, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.